Dear young men, you're lucky to have role models like our handsome, charismatic president, Donald Trump. The guy hangs out with the young, has over 50 different wives, and yet the world watched, jaw-dropped, as a meltdown unfolded in real time. No one, absolutely no one, saw this moment coming, the one that would finally make the internet go insane. And then there's Nicki Minaj, who had already stunned the world when she boldly threw her support behind the MAGA movement. But things went nuclear when she reacted to the no tax on overtime announcement as if it were her personal triumph. Here's the twist. According to insiders and financial analysts, Nicki completely misunderstood what the policy actually meant, and the fallout hit harder and faster than anyone anticipated. Sources reveal the chaos all started when Nicki reposted a viral clip celebrating the idea that overtime paychecks would suddenly arrive untaxed, that the system wasn't representing us, and that our beauty wasn't being recognized. If we feel that as Black women, why would we want to take that away from anyone else? Amen. Why should anyone have to downplay their beauty so we can feel? Nope, that's not how it works. I don't need someone with blonde hair and blue eyes to downplay their beauty because I know mine. Fans first thought she was joking, but the moment Nicki doubled down, calling it a monumental win for everyday workers, the backlash detonated. Critics immediately pointed out, this policy doesn't wipe out federal income tax, it merely tweaks the withholding formula for specific hourly categories. In short, paychecks might look slightly different in some cases, but not universally. Social media erupted instantly, branding the whole situation a colossal misread. And that's when the accusations of Nicki crashing out truly took off. Sure, Nicki makes a ton of money, not Michael Dell level, not quite, but enough to make this meltdown even more shocking. Laughter, not the funniest comparison, but you get it. The bigger question, was this entire scenario slipping past Nicki Minaj's brain and her so-called spidey senses? The room was laughing at her, yet she seemed convinced they were laughing with her. Within hours, Black celebrities jumped into the conversation, some bewildered, some frustrated, and others downright disappointed that Nicki didn't grasp what she was publicly endorsing. Sources reveal that multiple top-tier artists began questioning why one of the biggest rap icons was suddenly pushing political talking points that didn't match reality. Timelines flooded with screenshots of fans meticulously breaking down the IRS fine print, and the energy quickly shifted from hype to embarrassment. Real fast. To make matters worse, Nicki reacted emotionally. Instead of taking a step back, she fired off posts attempting to clarify the policy, but each explanation only worsened the situation because it directly conflicted with what financial experts were saying. She said things like, literally, when I get my last paycheck of December, so many people told me not to do that this year because they're the new, like no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. And I was like, oh, okay. So, I used all my info from my last pay stub, and I thought, when I get the new details from my W-2, I'll just update it then. But I went ahead and plugged in all my info from the previous pay stub. Snorts, and I was like, oh, cool, I'm getting some money back. Last year I owed a ton and had to donate a bunch of things. This year, I'm seeing some returns, like $200 state, $400 federal, or whatever. Snorts, then I thought, oh, this is going to change because there's no tax on overtime. I had done a crazy amount of overtime before switching to salary in May. So, I grabbed my W-2 and thought, perfect, I'll input the overtime and see what happens. I did exactly that. But guess what? Nothing changed. No tax reduction, no extra money back, zilch. I got taxed the exact same. The so-called no tax on overtime didn't give me a single extra dime. Hey, I honestly thought I'd be getting more back for all the overtime I worked from January to May. And that's when the hashtags accusing Nicki Minaj of getting played started trending across X, TikTok, and Instagram. People began saying she had jumped headfirst into a political world she clearly didn't understand, and now the whole internet was watching her struggle in a battle she was totally unprepared for. From barber shops to podcasts to every hip-hop commentary page, the same story kept repeating. Nicki wasn't cut out for this political lane. Her sudden pivot was hitting her brand harder than anything she'd faced in years. The narrative spread fast. She had chased a political trend without checking the facts first. And now, the backlash was coming at her full force. Fans weren't just confused, they felt deceived, disappointed, and ready to broadcast it to the world. Nicki Minaj wasn't trending for a new single, a performance, or a chart battle. She was trending because millions believed she had been publicly played. And the biggest trigger? The overtime tax misunderstanding. The internet treated it like the wildest plot twist of the year. Even those checking their own taxes as tipped employees found surprises. Nothing was as promised. Financial pages and legal experts confirmed the so-called no tax on overtime wasn't what people assumed. Analysts explained it wasn't a full tax elimination, only a structural adjustment in withholding for certain work brackets. But Nicki clearly didn't get the memo before posting her victory lap online. Fans immediately called it the biggest misread of her career, and the dragging went viral in minutes. Screenshots of workers' pay stubs showing zero change flooded social media. Accountants broke down the numbers in explanatory videos, exposing the hype as misleading. Reactors stitched together Nicki's posts, showing how she misunderstood what the IRS announcement actually meant. Thousands accused her of celebrating something that didn't actually benefit the average worker like she thought. And when Nicki tried to correct herself. But instead of calming things down, it only made the situation explode even further. Nicki fired off emotional posts accusing people of staying blind. Fans weren't having it. They pushed back, saying she wasn't being criticized for supporting a policy, but for supporting it without understanding what it actually did. And just like that, the Nicki got played narrative went viral. Memes, edits, and parodies flooded the internet, showing her celebrating something that wasn't even real. Overnight, the culture turned it into a full-blown running joke. I voted Republican for a while. Not doing it ever again after seeing that guy in Minnesota get shot. No, I'm done, one fan ranted. But this story didn't stay in the realm of jokes. It went deeper. Sources reveal that several black celebrities took to podcasts and live streams, emphasizing that Nicki's misunderstanding wasn't even the main issue. The real problem? How fast she jumped into the political lane without knowing the ground she was standing on. They pointed out that politics is merciless. Every single mistake gets amplified tenfold. One actor said, "Once you co-sign something political, you better know what you're talking about. There's no undo button." Another musician added, "She didn't just misread the policy, she misread the room." Comparisons started surfacing of other celebs who jumped into politics and immediately regretted it. Memes labeled it the fastest political fumble of 2026, and TikTok creators turned her posts into lessons on how not to get pulled into political battles unprepared. Even some of Nicki's biggest fan pages admitted privately that her meltdown was bad optics. They didn't want to turn on her, but they couldn't defend what the numbers were showing. Early paycheck breakdowns proved workers weren't seeing the results promised. And let's be real, the culture doesn't forgive misinformation, especially when it comes from someone at Nicki's level. The internet wasn't just laughing, it was holding her accountable, and the chatter got so intense that even neutral commentators said she walked straight into a political trap she didn't even see coming. Once Nicki doubled down on her political stance and the overtime misunderstanding blew up, black celebrities across entertainment decided they couldn't stay silent. This wasn't ordinary hip-hop drama. It was about influence, credibility, and how fast a superstar can lose control of the narrative when stepping into politics unprepared. The culture moved lightning fast, and suddenly Nicki Minaj found herself in the middle of a firestorm she never expected. The no tax on overtime claim? The biggest joke of the year. She said, "I did my taxes last night. Or at least I tried, and thought, well, at least I'll get back the taxes on all the overtime I worked this past year." Guess what? Nope. Couldn't do it. Her tax app didn't even give her the option. No instructions, no box to claim anything. She was pissed. It wasn't a huge amount, probably $200 to $400, but still, money she could have put in her gas tank. So much for no tax on overtime. "It's a crock of S.T., she ranted. "And my wife, yeah, she earns tips, couldn't claim hers either. No box. Nothing. They made it so complicated you can't figure out how, where, or what to do." In frustration, she said, "Forget it," and didn't claim either one. So, yeah. Sources say several celebrities reacted behind the scenes before going public. Some were baffled, questioning why Nicki Minaj would align herself with a movement that didn't match the persona she had built over the past decade. Others felt she got swept up in online hype, completely unaware that the political world operates by an entirely different set of rules. And then there were the ones who didn't hold back, roasting her mercilessly for jumping into mega influencer mode without reading a single policy line. Rappers, singers, comedians, even athletes, they all started chiming in. Most didn't attack Donald Trump directly. They didn't have to. Their focus was squarely on Nicki's behavior, her blunders, and the fact that she jumped into politics without checking the game film. One well-known comedian said she switched teams without even knowing the playbook. Another entertainer quipped that she was speed-running a political crash-out in 4K. Podcasters and hip-hop analysts were even louder, breaking down her mistakes step by step. They pointed out that Nicki had misread the overtime policy, misread the public, and misread the cultural temperature. Celebrity transitions into politics can either skyrocket a career or destroy it entirely depending on timing, tone, and execution, and Nicki fumbled all three. Fans watched as Nicki posted emotional rants, deleted tweets, reposted supporters, and argued with critics minutes later. The constant back and forth only made things worse, painting a picture of someone spiraling instead of standing firm. Black celebrities quickly made that the centerpiece of their commentary. One R&B artist said, "The issue isn't the politics, it's the chaos. She moved reckless." Fans were yelling, "All right, Trump, it's not cool, man. No tax on overtime? Wait, no tax on overtime is not actually no tax on overtime. There is tax on overtime, it's just on the half. Anything after 40 hours is time and a half, and they are still taxing the base. That's not what you made it out to be. That's not how you told us it would work. Fine print manipulation and deceit. If you say no tax on overtime, that's what we expect. Don't turn into a regular politician. That's why I voted for you. I thought you weren't a politician," one fan raged. Another said Nicki was doing too much too fast, and the culture simply wasn't buying her sudden switch. The drama intensified when insiders claimed Nicki expected support from other influential artists, but it never came. Instead, many distanced themselves publicly, liking posts criticizing her political move or reposting commentary emphasizing the importance of understanding policies before celebrating them. The wave grew, and the narrative became stronger than ever. Nicki Minaj wasn't just wrong, she was unprepared. Celebrities kept reacting. One major TV host said Nicki walked into a political chess game playing checkers. Another entertainer explained she didn't get played by Trump, she got played by the fine print. These comments went viral, and notice, they didn't attack Trump at all. They highlighted the growing perception that Nicki moved too fast, trusted hype over facts, and didn't understand the stakes of political involvement. By now, Nicki's political pivot had ignited one of the biggest debates online. Supporters argued she had the right to her views. Critics fired back. The problem wasn't her views, it was her execution. She simply wasn't built for political messaging, and the overtime fiasco exposed that faster than anything else could. The more people dissected Nicki's posts, the more it became clear. She was reacting out of pride, not logic. And when millions are watching every word, that's a dangerous mix. No tax on overtime, they scoffed. Why can't it just be no tax on straight time up to a certain point? Think about it. They are selling this like some massive win. But in reality, you're trading chunks of your life for a tiny tax incentive that doesn't even live up to the hype. Meanwhile, billionaires are laughing all the way to the bank with massive tax cuts, and they don't even work extra hours. We're being played. Don't you think it's time we start taxing the rich and giving breaks to the people who actually deserve it? The working class. And here's the wildest part. So much of the culture was saying this moment could reshape Nicki's entire legacy. Not her music, her catalog is untouchable. But culturally, her judgment was under fire. People were saying she needed to take a step back, breathe, and rethink her moves before this entire mess spiraled completely out of control. The dragging wasn't stopping. The debates weren't dying down. And the memes? Forget it. They weren't going anywhere. Nicki Minaj wasn't trending for a new single, a performance, or a chart battle. She was trending for a political miscalculation that had the internet in meltdown mode. One fan summed it up perfectly. She walked in blind, and now the world was watching every misstep. If you want more deep dives like this, make sure to like and subscribe.